but it also charts the opportunity that as we pull out of the recession, that we don't make the mistakes of the past and we begin just restoring what's been cut. Instead, we have an opportunity to pass what we call a revenue stabilization fund. And what that would do is it'll control the spigot of revenue so that as the money starts to come in, up to 15% of that gets put aside. And then the state budget could only grow on the 10-year average of the 10 years previous. That percentage. Everything above that in good times moves into the stabilization account or goes for tax relief or to pay down debt. It gives us an opportunity to get off the financial roller coaster and to pave the way to a more stable future so that when tighter times come again, we've got this gigantic stabilization fund and money flows back out of that into the budget, so we're not cutting back on school teachers, we're not cutting back on law enforcement. In other words, one year we hire, the next year we fire. It is a stable approach and it's a good way to do it. The strength of it is that it'll be a constitutional amendment, and therefore, as uncomfortable as it may be for a General Assembly or for a governor, they will have to abide by it because the people have imposed that bridle on their government through the Constitution. The Senate wants to give you that opportunity to vote on that revenue stabilization. Take the Streamlining Commission and you take the revenue stabilization and you create a path for the future. What that means is not only from the standpoint of getting good management on government, but it gives us the opportunity to invest, keep government out of areas that it should not be involved in, and it gives us an opportunity to create the economic climate to also help us create jobs and make the state a more attractive place. I think with an orderly progression out of the recession, we also have the opportunity to take a good hard look at our tax structure and say, is there a simpler way to do our tax structure, like maybe having a state fair tax or something, and get rid of a lot of the complexities, because we won't have an enormous pressure on the existing taxes to go spend them. Lastly, I would tell you that our AAA rating, which is what our bonds, if we're able, where we have a capital project, just like when you buy a home and we got to pay for it over a few years because we don't have it all in one year. If we're able to maintain that AAA credit rating, we get a lower cost to issue bonds. So all of this comes together. It means more efficient government. It means government not growing too fast. It means a good credit rating. And it means opportunities economically.